I have 3 accessories today. I'm going to give some time to each of them. We're going to go into detail, talk about how they work, what's good about them, what's bad about them. Timestamps will be down there, so jump around as you see fit. You're watching Bringhurst VR. We've got 3 accessories today. The Kiwi Design straps for the MetaQuest 3. Yoges? I'm going to say Yoges. If I'm wrong, forgive me.
Wait a minute. You got to understand, man. I never even saw these apps.
It's a golf accessory. And lastly, we're going to be looking at a Gunstock from a company called iStock. It's very simple. It's 3D printed. I'll explain that rattling around here in a second. But because I've already got them on, let's begin with the Kiwi Design. I'm going to show some unboxing here, show you what it comes like, what you can expect in the box. We'll go over everything that's in this. But once they're on, they are simple. This design has been around since the Quest Pro, where it's this kind of silicone grip, and then it's got a lip that comes over the top and slides on. I never liked it. It was a nightmare because as you're playing, as you're gripping, as you're sweating away, you're gripping so tight that this lip just gradually just slides and moves, covers a button, covers the necessary lights, and it was never my thing. Having said that, these are surprisingly great. The rim that goes over the edge here is, I mean, I can pull it, but it's stiff, it's sturdy, it doesn't stretch or move. I've put about 4 hours into using these so far, and I'm happy with it. I will say that there's clearly a notch right here to accommodate one of the lights on the controllers. I have had 0 tracking issues. It works really well. Now, I am also on the record as having said that my favorite grips are those from ProVolver. I like those a lot. And the reason I like these so much is just because of the giant pad. It's enormous. What is that? 50% of the back of my hand. Whereas these are, you could say that they're more like the stock official straps provided by Meta. You could say that that's kind of what they were leaning into. And I will say also that while I prefer the big pad on the back of the hand, these feel good. This is made of almost like a rubberized leather almost. Like it's not plastic. It's not abrasive. It's not stretchy. It's sturdy. It's Velcro on one side. And it's got a lot of movement to it. In addition to that, the whole shell of it down here is completely and utterly comprised of this kind of zigzagging lines that give you this grip. The whole thing is made of that. It feels very good to hold. It feels very sturdy, very strong. This will not work with the MetaQuest official dock. This won't work with any dock that charges batteries. I think that this is designed mostly to go with the Kiwi Design dock that they built, in which case it doesn't charge the batteries, it just drops in. I'll show some of that footage right here. So if you are using any kind of a wireless dock with the intention of charging your controllers on it, then this will not work. But if you're already in the Kiwi ecosystem, then I like this a lot. I really like how this feels. I like how it grips the top. I like how the tracking works great. I like the feeling of the grip. And while I wish this was bigger, that's just a comfort thing for me. The way that this attaches here, a grommet right there, it's not coming off. It feels very premium to me. Very good in the hands. I like it. This is designed strictly for the use of AA batteries. You cannot use this, again, not just will it charge on the dock, but you physically will not fit your controller if you intend on using anything but AA batteries. And the reason for that is that there's this window on the side right there. It opens up. It's not just a door. It's got some size to it. So as far as access to the battery, their thing here is, why should you ever have to take off a controller grip? Why should you have to? And this is their solution. And I like it. I like it a lot. Will I be using it No. No, I won't. But that's because I'm using what I think is, you know, the superior docking system. And I have come to really like these batteries that they supply. I have come to like just dropping them on there and having them charge. I don't like having to pull AA batteries off of my battery charger, which I keep on the wall. But if you're not a sucker and you haven't paid $130 for a charger or a $60 Chinese model that basically does the same thing, which you wouldn't be a sucker then, you know, then this would be for you. I think this is really cool. In addition to all of this, in the box, they give us instructions, but it's all very self-explanatory. I'm gonna pop that out. They provide these doors, one for each controller, and you can see there's a little plastic thing right there. That's just designed to slip it under the battery. When you need to change it out, you tug on it and the battery pops up. And again, they provide this door with a window in it as a method of never having to take this off.
Excuse me, do these effectively hide my thunder?
I have to take off my grips anytime I want to charge my controller. It's not the end of the world, but is it as seamless as I would like? No, it's not. Essentially, you take out the battery in advance. You pop on this replacement door, which fits very well, snaps in. It's not coming out without pressing that button right there. Once that's on, and then we just shove this thing down there, stuff it in, pull the edges over the top, and it's on. Now, I've got that guy sticking out right there. We're just gonna put the battery over it, pop it in, fold that thing in, close the door, and you're done. It's on. And again, if you're not using a charging dock, this will never come off again. No need to take it off, no need to... I mean, your controllers are going to stay clean, more so than what Meta's offering with their thing where it's a loop that attaches to the door. I guess it's nice that that's seamless and very minimalistic, but this strap is infinitely better. This protects your controller. If you drop it, it's going to survive. It's not just a grip, it's a way of keeping your controllers clean and safe. And if you're in that kind of ecosystem, I love this. Go get it. Next, let's talk about the Yoges golf club. So this was sent to me a month ago, and I should have had this reviewed by now. I wasn't able to make a video of it because I've been on that hiatus, but I'm back now. But that gave me a month of using it. I have been using this quite a bit. Now, I own Golf Plus. I own Walkabout Mini Golf, but people will tell me, people have told me that they prefer Golf Plus. It's realistic golfing. It's a blast. I've played it, but maybe I'm just a kid. I like the mini golf aspect. I like the anti-gravity stuff. That's where I thrive. But that also means that, yeah, I take these big swings and try to hit it across to the other island or whatever. But I am not, you know, going hog wild. Is that can I say that? Oh my God. I'm not going crazy with these giant swings. So there's going to be a number of people who say, oh, well, you didn't test it with this game. You didn't test it with that game. And what kind of a golfer are you? I'm not a golfer. I play VR. So why don't you guys just... But having said that, using this in Walkabout Mini Golf especially, I like it, but there are some conditions that need to be met that you need to know about. So before I put the controller in this cup, let's talk about how this thing works and what it does, okay? And how it differs from other clubs that I've reviewed. I've reviewed quite a few of them. To begin, pull that out. That seems to be just like, you don't twist it to pull. It's very difficult to open. It's not going to slide out all on its own. It's just kind of telescopes, and it takes some work to get it out. But that also means that when you're swinging, it's not going to just like go flying. In addition to that, you twist this, and it gives you a little bit more length, and that is as long as that gets. But that's got to be a good 2 feet, I think, just for good measure. Let's measure that. This is the YEZRO club, which I like for the weight, and this is considerably longer when fully extended. They have got this notch very similar to the DeadEye VR. Very similar to the DeadEye VR, in which you got a hole coming out the middle right there, you're supposed to pipe the loop through there, and then you loop it across this little notch right here. And once it's on, you just turn this, and it kind of grabs that and loops it around, and it tightens to where the controller's in, but then it's locked in because of that loop. What did I just review? Controller grips. You're probably watching this video because you like controller grips, and so I don't have a loop anymore. And so many of these things are, you know, if you want to get down to the legalese of it, I'm sure it requires a loop, you know. But having said that, so there's nothing special here. You just slide it in. Now, I can't show you necessarily, but when I'm putting this in, they have got two inserts, top and bottom right here, kind of rubber strips that add to the width of this pocket here. And when you're pushing this in, you can feel there is the resistance. Keep pushing. It's in there now. It's not coming out. It comes, but not without working at it. When I was using this earlier, I didn't use the loop, and I had it fully extended, but I was just playing with it as is. And I had no issues whatsoever. Obviously, because it's only holding the bottom cup, the tracking is perfect. I like how long it is, but if you were to ask them, is it a good idea to play with this without that loop? Just as I am sure DeadEye VR would tell you, on a business level, on a practical level, they would be required, I think, I don't know, but I expect they would be required to say, yes, use that loop. Because the last thing they want is for you to be playing and have that controller go flying against the room and breaking something or killing the dog.
What are you doing?
But all that said, it's in there. I played with it for quite a bit, had no issues whatsoever. It's not coming out. Over time, those rubber strips I mentioned, from taking this in, taking it out, which you're going to be doing constantly if you play golf constantly, I wouldn't be surprised if those kind of got mushed and kind of squished and lost some of their grip. For all the times I've used this over the past month, I have had no issues, and it's holding just as tight now as it did when they first sent it to me. But there could come a day where you would need to replace those strips, in which case you could probably do it yourself. Just, you know, order something off Amazon. They probably want you to use that loop, and I don't even have one. I don't even have one to show you how it tightens around here. I just know that's what it does because, was it DeadEye VR? Did they provide me with a loop? I can't remember. If they didn't, then I had a loop back then. I know that, but I don't have one now. Now, this has no weights on it. I mean, this isn't a review about anything but this. Not entirely, anyway. This has weights on it. They got these huge weights right here, and I like the feeling of the heavier thing. That's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to care about that. If you are coming into golf for the first time, as far as VR and a golf club, you probably won't care about the weight. A lot of people don't care about that. If anything, it's just a distraction that you know, makes your arms tired. I'm not of that camp. I prefer the weight, and so between that and the loop that I don't have, it's not quite for me, but it might be for you. If it is for you, the link for this will be in the description. Same with the Kiwi Design down there. And spirits be gone. And you know, I don't know, this is kind of about everything. So if you're interested in that golf club, you'll find that in the description as well. If nothing else, I'm talking about the stuff that I like. So I'm giving it like an honest go. I'm telling you what's good about it. I'm telling you what's bad about it. And if there's something else that I like better, that's not necessarily the better thing, it's just something I like more, then I'm gonna share it. But if you don't care about the weights, if you have a strap coming out the bottom of your controller, then this is definitely worth looking at. And now we move on to the iStock. Now I have reviewed several gun stocks, many gun stocks. The list goes on forever. And if you've watched this channel, then you know that I prefer a few things. I prefer magnets. I like magnets. Grips of some kind, some way of holding it onto the gun, I like. If it's a traditional gun stock, then I need a butt stock up against my shoulder. If it's a full-on gun stock, it needs to be able to bend and adjust so that it can conform to any gun in any game. And just like the other day when I was talking about the ProVolver with the front extension, using that in Population 1, that thing doesn't tilt left and right. You can't adjust it at all. No, you can. You can tilt it forward and backward, the front handle. But otherwise, you can't adjust it at all. But that's not a problem because it's such a short stock. It's more of a shotgun than anything else that in Population 1, I can use it with literally any gun. And when I'm holding a pistol, I just take off the thing and then it's a gun. So there are some caveats to you know, my criticisms of these things. Getting into the iStock, it is a single chunk of plastic, and inside of it is this little doohickey, which is designed to, again, thread the loop of the controller through the bottom. Don't know if I mentioned it, but I don't have a loop, so maybe I should buy one, but maybe these developers, creators should go into it assuming that anyone who's going to spend money on an accessory at all to, you know, better their VR experience should assume that those people they've made certain upgrades prior to, leading up to them trying your device, and among those is very likely controller grips. And when you have controller grips, you don't need the loop, and maybe it's not a problem for everyone. This is a budget gun stock, and there's a few things to talk about with this. Let's begin with how it works. The video I made previously about the wheeled VR, I had a few issues with it. You know, you're kind of holding it, it's cupped against it. Show some footage right here, and that was my issue. It was just uncomfortable, and I wish it had magnets. As I understand it, wheeled VR has actually updated that prototype. People who use it regularly say that they like the upgrades, and it seems like, if not, you know, this channel, other channels have also kind of commented, and they've made some improvements. So good for them, and, you know, I wish them all the best. But the difference between that and something like this is that this, you're not required to hold the weight of both the gun stock and the controller at the same time. It actually slides in, it stays there. It's actually in there really good. Where this differs is, this is a butt stock of sorts. It's supposed to go into your shoulder. You hold it like this, and you're thinking, well, where's your other controller? I don't understand. But what you're supposed to do is take the other controller and hold it so that you've got this arm is steady, which it does the trick. You know, it's steady, it's not going anywhere. But then, you know, your other hand you're just holding it like normal. So it's almost the same as not having a gun stock, but I admit that this does help kind of steady the hand, and in the game it does give it some up against your shoulder. It feels good. But that thing with the waving of the hand and trying to keep that there, it's a budget stock. Is it something that, like, I would recommend to someone with deep pockets? No. But for someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, and this is how much it is, I get it. You know, I understand. And more than that, from their website, they show some kind of an extension, I think, which I do not have. It appears to be a tube that maybe telescopes, that connects from here to another cup. I don't know anything about that. I don't have that in my possession. I don't know if that front thing, you know, clips off, and it would have to, right? It would have to if you're going to reload. That's what I'm seeing on their website, though, and I don't have that. They sent me this. So if that system of theirs allows you, hopefully via magnets, to take that off, reload, put it back on, that changes the dynamic of this gun stock quite a bit. But again, I don't have it. I don't know anything about that right now. All I can talk about is this. And you could do worse, you know, if you're trying not to spend a lot of money. And if you want a slight leg up, then you could look at this. I used it not a lot. I've used it over the last week, kind of sporadically. I have no gripes with the comfort, no gripes with the reloading because my left hand is free. I have no gripes with holding it up because it's up against my shoulder. The weight of it is distributed well. I have no gripes with the cup because it stays in there. I'm not required to hold it at all. I have no gripes even with the lack of magnets. I'm doing it. I'm stepping outside of me, of Dan. But for someone who, they see $150, a really, high-end, even in some cases like $300, a really high-end gun stock that's maneuverable, modifiable, has magnets, maybe that's a pipe dream. In which case, this does the trick. And if that's you, then I can recommend this. This works well. Yeah, I would like to thank iStock for sending this. Their site will be linked down below, so check that out if it's something that you want to use. And again, I'm sorry that I can't use the loop down here. I don't have a loop, and that's just the way it is, and I can't do nothing about it. Thank you to Kiwi Design and Yoges, and iStock for sending all this stuff. You guys have been watching Bringhurst VR. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It does my channel a lot of good. Statistically, something like 90% of you are not subscribed. So if you found this content helpful, go ahead and hit that like, hit subscribe. And, thank you to my Patreon subscribers and my YouTube members. I appreciate you guys. You guys have been watching Bringhurst VR. Have a great day. Hey you guys, if you stuck around this long, then it means you watch a lot of my content and I really appreciate it. Something I wanted to touch on, even after I filmed all of this stuff, I was contacted by Meta, or someone representing Meta. They have invited me to join something called the Meta Affiliate Program. This is not the same thing as the Meta Ambassador Program, which this is an opportunity because there are a few things that Meta makes that I like. The Quest 3 is amazing for what it does, for the price point. Their official Meta dock is perfect, really perfect. I like it, minus the price point. And I honestly can't think of another thing that they've made that warrants praise when compared to third-party designs and other things people have made. Just people are getting out there and they're making all this cool stuff, and Meta just can't compete with it. I'm sure they'll adopt some of it and make new stuff, but they seem continually bent on just making the bare minimum, least comfortable thing available to the public. So thank God for these third-party creators. But that brings me to this. This is an affiliate program where I will never share something that I don't like. I might review something, and if you think I'm wrong, then you're welcome to buy it. But I will never say, go buy this, if I don't personally love it. And I hope that if you're watching this channel, you know that. I hope that you kind of have faith in maybe not my opinion. I can be wrong, but I won't say something that I don't mean. And so in the future, moving forward, you may see me tell you that there is an affiliate link. If you want to buy a Quest 3, if you want to buy the MetaQuest charging dock, then here's a link. Here's an affiliate link. I'll benefit from it. It'll be supporting my channel if you buy it. I will not, however, ever be the person still wearing a stock strap 2 years into the Quest 3 being around, complimenting the headset on how comfortable it is. You know who I'm talking about. There were like 6 of them. I just won't be that guy. But if you see a link with an affiliate link, that's all that is. You'll never see that under the grips by Meta or even the Elite battery strap, because why would you buy that when the Bobo VR is so much better? So look forward to that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. You guys have a great day.